welcome to episode 11 of the Fools on a Hill podcast. I am your host, Cal, and I am joined today by Yanni. Hello.
Hello. Just me today, isn't it?
It
no
is.
other members here. Just me and you.
Just me and you.
Lovely little sesh we're going to have.
Yeah. How's your day been?
My day has been filled with listening to lots of music.
Lots and
lots of music.
Wow.
Some of which was good. Some of which you will hear about.
Wow.
Who else is here?
Oh, I thought we could have just gone through.
I can't hold it in.
Just see how long. Just see how long he would have gone before he'd have thrown an epic.
I'm here. Episode
Sometimes
11,
I like
eh?
him, so we better introduce him.
Yeah.
Episode 11.
We're also joined by Liam, as always.
In recognition of the Six Nations, we've gone for episode 11, 2 sticks, you know? That's how it works, isn't it? That's what we're doing.
No idea what he's on about.
Hi.
How's your day
What's
been,
going on?
Liam? Done much?
My day's been, listen to music, done a bit of work, because I'm supposed to be working on weekdays, so I did a bit of work, and just had the Subway for lunch. That was nice.
Nice.
You want to know my Subway order?
Yeah,
It's
go
in
on.
my
What did
Twitter
you
bio.
have? Oh, right.
It's in my Twitter bio. I've got it in there. It's a mighty meat, foot-long mighty meat on herbs and cheese. It's cheese and toasted, but it's grated cheese. I have tomatoes, peppers, and sweet corn, garlic aioli, and Southwest sauce, and crispy onions.
And
Usually
there's no
with-
need to go to his Twitter account anymore?
No, I told you not.
So, yeah.
Usually with chili heatwave Doritos, we didn't have any, so I had some cheese and a cherry Pepsi Max.
Good show.
So if you want to send me something, send me that.
Lovely stuff.
Before we get into anything, Yanni, you told me before that you were watching Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
How far through it did you get? Did you like it?
I got to the war one. Can't remember the full name.
Life During Wartime?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Oh, you've stopped there. It's the best one.
No, I got to that point and then I was like, this is a long-ass concert.
Yeah.
And then skipped to the other ones that I knew of. So it was very good, and that was a very good rendition of the song, and his dance moves were impeccable. Well done,
without a shadow of a
David.
doubt.
I did feel the burn.
Well, Callum, what have you been listening to? What have you been watching this week? What's been happening this week for you, other than the podcast?
Well, Karis and I have recently started the US office, which is something I can't believe I've never seen before. But
Have you seen the UK one?
yeah, so obviously seen the UK one.
Okay, good.
But yeah, started the US one. Really like it, and obviously
Cool.
the best show on TV. Celebs go date in the mansion.
Have you seen The Cabins? Have you watched that?
Yeah, we
Living
did.
Cabins,
Yeah,
whatever
we
it's
like
called.
that quite a lot.
It's pretty good. I quite like that.
Yeah, very good. Another show that Liam and I are particularly fond of. Yanni doesn't like it. RuPaul's Drag Race, the UK version for me.
Grace, gentlemen.
Do you want to give us a little roundup of your thoughts, Liam, before we get into What's the Story? Or can you not be asked?
Well, spoilers. Who went last episode?
Without spoilers, it was a particularly fiery episode. It was a bit bitter.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm
was
because
someone
the
dressed
US
as a
one was
lemon.
on at the same time. Well done, Yanni. Yeah, so I agreed with that one. I can't remember, to be honest. I can only think of the US one. I think I prefer that at the moment. So it's kind of.
Well, in that
taking
case,
me away.
Liam, it was lovely speaking to you, but
Thank you.
we're at that point in our life where we must find out what's the story.
We start the news again this week on a somber tone, as we have last. It feels like many weeks we've done this, but Mary Wilson, one of the co-founder members of the Supremes, has died this week. Do we know how old she was? It's not
76 rings a bell.
Okay,
Maybe
go with
older.
76. I feel like she should be older, if I'm honest.
Most likely. I'll have a look.
But good innings either way. Supremes.
Fucking hell, Liam.
That's a standard saying. People say that.
I just wasn't
The
expecting it.
Supremes.
Yeah,
I
in
know
cricket, maybe.
they were one of my nan and granddad's favourite groups. I've got a couple of their records actually from them.
She was 76.
Some
Wow.
great. Well done, Carl. I
That's
would
very
have
young.
expected older, if I'm honest. Yeah, I would have expected older.
Not a good innings, then, would you say?
I mean, could have had better. Obviously,
Could have had a better life.
Some smash hits from the Supreme. I wouldn't say smash hits. Well, you got You Can't Hurry Love. and some others as well. I was looking, I don't recognise any by name, but I do know, like, when I've been seeing, like, videos on the news and stuff, I recognise every song. So
Every song. You
Every
know them
every
all.
song. Yeah, one of those groups that, yeah, great. But yeah,
He was
sad news.
supremely fond of them.
Yes, thank you, Yanni.
Talking
so yeah.
of, talking of lives ending, we must go and talk about this guitar that has had its life taken away before its time. It was a Dan
I
Electro.
am furious.
Love a
I
Dan
am
Electro.
livid. I can't believe a woman smashed a guitar.
How dare
live
she?
on television.
I can't believe a woman was on TV. What is going
Yeah.
on in this day and age?
In the kitchen with you.
This is crazy. I can't believe how much people have been talking about this as if it's. I mean,
A
I
big
don't.
deal.
I standard don't really like the idea of smashing guitars because
Pointless.
send it to me.
Some people
But-
can't afford guitars. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
But there is so much, and it's clearly just because she was a woman. I can't really see any other reason why people are moaning about it so much.
No.
So she smashed it on
Yeah.
SNL. She smashed the Dan Electro. She said since that they basically gave her the go ahead to do it. Which
Yeah, I saw that
whatever
as well, yeah.
stands for, I guess. But
And that's always rock and roll when you're told you can smash it.
exactly. Yeah, it was a bit. I wouldn't say it's forced. That seems a bit too much.
Well, there was a lot of
It seemed-
sparks
it was
coming off
planned.
there was a lot of sparks coming off the monitor,
Yeah, there was.
which
Yeah, there was a bit
really
weird.
did not look real.
No, I agree with that.
But who really gives a shit?
who gives
Why
a
are
shit?
people moaning?
Why
The
is
fact
this in
that
the
people
story?
give a because people are giving a shit and
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
we're just
It's
mocking them,
stupid.
aren't we?
We're just mocking them. If she wants to smash a guitar, let her smash a guitar.
Oh, you guys
cares?
weren't serious about you being angry that a woman was on television?
No.
No, she shouldn't have been on
okay.
TV. That's true.
Okay,
Especially
okay.
not a comedy show. Women at a
Crosswise.
comedy. Come on. No, obviously not. She's a brilliant artist. She deserved to be there. But yeah, people complaining about that. It's just stupid. So if you
Yeah.
listen to this and you believe that, get over yourselves. Up next.
Tell us
Snowflake.
about your favourite band in the whole world. Tell us a story about
So
them.
welcome now to the beginning of the Black Country New Road episode. Black Country New Liam Falls on a Hill episode. So Black Country New Road have had a new album out this week, which we will talk about later. It was my pick for Hot Off the Press, but they've since already a number of times alluded to. Tick.
Hey! It's got to be a record.
That was early, that. Right?
Right in there. To a second album. So before this first album came out, they kept posting pictures of just kind of like seemingly random things, saying this is exactly what the second album sounds like, and just as kind of a joke. And then there was something. One of the band members, I think it may have been the singer, posted on Instagram the day of the release of the first album, saying like, thanks to everyone, blah blah blah. We're really happy with what's going on. And something, I can't remember exactly what it was now. I really should have had this up, but something about like a surprise coming up soon or a new album coming soon. And like it's known that they have a good. I mean, this new album only had 6 songs in. I know of at least like 5 or 6 other songs that they've played regularly and like that are on YouTube and stuff, and even a new one that they've played recently, which we will talk about later.
Cool.
But they definitely probably could. They definitely have more tracks that they could release. Who knows if this is going to be a second album straight after the first? It would be quite cool if they were just like, okay, here's
Yeah,
our
it
second
would.
album. Considering the first one was so short, but as we'll talk about later,
Yeah.
still a complete piece of work.
I wouldn't say it
guess.
was short. It just said it's just
yeah.
a few songs. on it.
Sorry, few songs, but it definitely was a complete piece of work. To then come out and be like, oh yeah, we've got loads more, would be pretty cool. But I don't know. Watch your space, I guess. This space falls and hills. We will tell you first, as long as you just ignore the internet.
Look up to space, and you will see our 3 faces.
And Taylor Swift falling from the moon.
Constantly, she's perpetual motion.
So yeah, mention just Taylor Swift. Then it's interesting. I forgot to add this on, but Taylor Swift has just announced she's re-releasing one of her albums. I think like tonight. Which is it? What's the album, Yanni? Is it 13? Or have I made that up?
You're
No.
asking the wrong Taylor Swift.
Does she have an album called 13?
Yes. No. That's her favourite number. I know
When did she say that night under the stars? I'm just searching for Swiftie now. Let's have a look. No, Fearless. So
I see where you got mixed up there.
Close.
I don't know where
Close to
30 came from. There's a new version of Fearless coming out called Taylor's version. And it'll be
Whose
with
was
us
the old
soon.
version?
Wasn't she under? Is it that Scooter Braun?
Oh,
is it?
yeah.
And like he's like
Scooter Braun.
she doesn't
sounds
own
like
most of the music,
Such
I
a
don't think.
stupid name, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Scooter Braun.
I don't think she owns
Sounds
half
like a
the
razor
music, which has
brand.
always been it is Braun as a razor man, mate.
But Scooter Braun. The whole thing combined.
So there's 26 songs, including 6
Thanks, Liam.
never before released from the vault.
Are you still
Okay. And I'm still talking because there's more on it. And Love Story (brackets Taylor's version) will be out tonight.
Wow.
I can't wait
cannot
to hear
wait.
that. I love Love Story. I love Love.
I know it's just she's just remaking the song she already recorded, but I love it if it went a completely different direction. It's like really hardcore, like
Heavy metal.
yeah.
That would be good. Talking about heavy
Anyway,
metal. This one, pavement based. Terror Twilight. So a bit of background. All of the first 4 Pavement albums have all had a kind of re-release since their original release, with a load of B-sides and rare tracks and stuff added on. 2 CD releases, as you want, if you want. Although their last album, Terror Twilight, never had the luxury of a release like that. And people have been, asking for it for years, wondering what would be on there that we've not heard before. And they've basically hinted that they will be doing something along those lines. I'm trying to find the tweets, but if you just want to talk among yourselves from
We love a prepared host.
well, this is really good for the podcast that we're currently recording.
But that's
here.
basically it. I've just covered it. They're basically teasing that they may be doing a deluxe reissue of Terror Twilight. So maybe someone heard Pavement tracks will be out soon, or Pavement adjacent.
Pavement adjacent.
I'm gonna stop talking now. Callum,
Wow.
go through the next one, mate.
There's not really much news here, but I follow the band Fur on Instagram, and they put up a story the other day of them saying that the album was finished recording. I like a few of their tunes, so quite excited for this. It's obviously been the debut album's been delayed because of COVID. We all know that.
Everyone
I know
got Paul Macker with that, didn't it?
it did. We all know the drill by now, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a Fur album to look forward to in the not so distant future.
So, Carl, you say their first album's been delayed.
Yeah.
Is this their first album they finished, or have they got this is second one?
No, this is the first one, but I presume that they just carried on recording. They've written more for it, I presume.
Okay.
But
makes
I know
sense.
that they probably have been delayed because they seem to release loads of tracks back end of 2019 and then not much last year, apart from like a lo-fi EP. So who knows?
Who
But
does?
yes.
Definitely not us.
Common theme here. We don't know.
Yes. Joe Keery from Stranger Things, under the alias Joe, has an album called 2020, which has finally got a vinyl release. Originally, it was released only 500 times on Vinyl Me Please on a limited edition vinyl, but it has sold out before it went on general sale. So they have pressed it on a black LP. Don't know why I forgot how to speak then. Is this news? People might be interested because I was. So
Maybe.
go and
Is
buy
it
it if you like that.
I'll tell you, the next one is definitely news.
It is.
Before you get to that though, is this Joe? Is it through Vinyl Me Please again, or is he releasing this just completely general sale?
Just
it's
completely
fine.
general sale. And for some unbeknown reason, it's shipped from Shropshire.
Oh yeah, big.
From Shropshire.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
difficult.
I'm
I presume that's just the UK variant and not them all, but the link from his website took me to...
Imagine Shropshire's at the heart of
Is he?
Joe's
I
vinyl
assume he's
releasing.
American. Is he? He's not British.
He is, yeah.
You used to assume he's American, because he is. Correct.
I'm always
Anyway,
right.
the biggest news of this week.
Yes.
KSI accidentally leaked his own album in his recent video. He put a tweet on to say you weren't meant to see that. I think there was a bit of an error, miscommunication between him and his editing team. Title of the album, All Over the Place. judging by the artwork that was put right at the end of the video. He hasn't removed the video or anything.
No, it's
that it was
probably
on,
one of them
so-
accidents.
Oh, I didn't
Mm.
mean to. Like a Tom Holland leak.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so silly. I didn't mean to leak all of that.
Which video
Yeah.
is at the end of?
But his latest one, the Try Not to Laugh. Inappropriate
It's got a
edition or
fish.
something.
Yeah, it's got a
Great,
fish
just
on the
my
front
kind
of
of
it.
content.
Because we're dead cool and we still watch KSI at the age of 23.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, okay. It's
yes.
just, it's fully like in the video. It's not even like a kind of,
It's an outro.
you know, like the back screen.
It's got a Ken Burns effect on, isn't it?
That's classic Ken Burns.
Being bane of my life, Ken Burns. I fucking hate that prick.
Is there music on when it shows the artwork? Or?
Yeah, it's
Only his
Don't
last
Play
song.
with Anne-Marie.
Oh, okay.
No, don't play.
But is Anne-Marie a
right.
secret girlfriend or not? I haven't watched that one.
No. No.
God damn it!
You got roped in by the clickbait title. Go on, last bit of news. Who's going to do it? Not me.
Go on, Liam.
I choose you.
Just as I picked up my glass to drink. Music documentary coming from the one and only Charlie XCX. Alone Together, it is called, and it's premiering at Suxu SXSW South by Southwest on March 18th. Just all the names, all the AKAs.
Suxu.
Suxu, Charlie Skook and the Suxu. On March 18th, focuses on a 5-week period of recording her album How I'm Feeling. Is that the one of it? Sorry, How I'm Feeling Now. Is that the one of her lying on? I realised I didn't finish one.
Yeah, it
Is that when she's lying on the bed?
It is, yeah. Her latest album, yeah.
Oh, well, I automatically know what you're on about now.
Yeah.
With a little camcorder.
I haven't listened to that album. But I've
No,
heard it's good.
Too.
Nominated for a Mercury, though, wasn't it?
I've heard it's
Doesn't
good.
take much, does it?
It don't. No, it don't. And that takes us to end of news. And now we're going on to another jam-packed segment. And what is it called?
It is titled Hot Off the Press.
Callum!
Hello.
Jamaica! Oh, what's going on, mate?
Well, as you've just mentioned, my album of the week.
Cal, is it hot? Is it hot, mate? Is it nice or
We're
warm?
evolving, Yanni. You don't need to pass that.
Well, my
What have you listened
album, I have listened to Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, Shiger, The Sunlight Mound, I believe is the full title.
It is.
It is.
Thank you.
Is it what? Is it good music or is it bad
It's good music, yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Liam.
I'm a big fan of this band, Australian band, psychedelic, all the good stuff. This is their 4th album, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not as good as their 3rd album.
Honesty is the best policy.
They're
Yeah.
going to be devastated.
I'm sure they will. I do apologise. It's just not as good. However, it's still very, very, very good in my humble opinion.
Redemption.
Yes. One gripe I had with it, but it's kind of prominent throughout a lot of Psychedelic Porn Crumpets' discography, is that it's quite samey. Doesn't really... I don't know how to say it without offending them. Not that they're going to listen. But
They may.
once you've heard 3 songs on the album, you've pretty much heard the whole thing.
Yep.
Which is
Yep.
not
Yep.
great. However, my favourite tracks were I Can't Read, What the Hell,
Well,
Tally Ho and
See
Puke
that
Box.
one?
Crikey.
Weird track.
No, Tally Ho
Well,
and
the
Puke
looks.
Box were my favourite, as well as Mundungus. I was
Isn't that a
disappointed.
character from Harry Potter?
Yeah, Mundungus Fletcher.
Sure.
Well done.
Yeah.
What's
I
it
was
called?
disappointed that Round the Corner was only 40 seconds. I thought that had the potential to be a great tune. I liked The Tale of Gurney Gridman, but I would prefer it to
Isn't that
have
a Harry
not
Potter
been...
character?
Fuck off, Liam.
If I could talk, that'd be great.
Sorry.
But I would prefer it if it wasn't the album closer, because I don't know, I didn't like it as the closer. I thought Mango Terrarium would have been a much better song to close the album.
Some class names they picked here.
Yeah, well, very, very strange, as most of the Pawn Crumpet stuff is. I just feel like the album kind of lacked a few bangers. The bangers on this one aren't anywhere near as good as Social Candy and Him for a Droid, etc. from the last one. But I don't know, I do still really like it. I've listened to it a few times and my thoughts have stayed the same throughout it. Despite the fact that I was quite critical, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I do really, really like the album. And I think it's very, very good. But there are some faults with it.
There are some faults.
In our stars.
No,
It's a low 4 out of 5, but it's a 4 out of 5 nonetheless. Discuss.
I
Right.
well, I had a little chat with Liam before. I had to put him in his place, obviously. No, I was saying that I listened to Tally Ho.
Yep.
And that was my highlight from it.
Yeah.
And then I skipped through the rest of them, and yeah, like you've mentioned, it sounded like I was listening to the same song, basically. But that Tally Ho song, you know how one week you controversially said, and I will say controversially, said that they were what King Gizzard aspired to be like.
No, I
that
never
what-
said that. I said
Is that
they're
what you said?
No. I said psychedelic Pawn Crumpets are what I wished King Gizzard were. Is what I said. I never.
Okay.
I definitely didn't say what you said there.
We'll check back. We'll go back and check the tapes.
Okay. I got that very much from Tally Ho. The like guitar sounds and the way he was kind of singing. I got that.
Okay.
That King his style. But they're both from Australia, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were both Aussie.
So
Yeah,
you know they're gonna sound the same, aren't they?
of course. Shagger and all that.
Liam.
Hiya. Hi, my name's Liam. So I listened to this album. About
This
half
isn't
of it.
good, is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. I'll be honest. Like I had it on while I was just doing some work late at night because I work 24/7. Very hard
No, he
work.
doesn't. He just chooses not to work during the day.
I do work better at night, to be fair. But I had it on, and it was enjoyable to listen to. Enjoyable is probably the wrong word. I think it's psychedelic music's not supposed to be enjoyable, is it? But I enjoyed it. I think I listened to like 6 or 7 songs,
Okay.
and I kind of had my fill, I would say.
Okay.
But
That's fine.
I liked it. Like I didn't not like it. It just I think it's maybe not. Part of it is it's not my kind of music, and partly because it just kind of molded into one for me. I think there was some good transitions between some of the songs.
Yeah.
I remember liking. I think going into Tripolosaur, I think, or Sawtooth
One more time.
Monkfish. Fucking hell, these songs are hard to say. But yeah, I kind of liked it. I definitely saw the comparisons to King Gizzard.
Yeah, I think the
Sure.
comparisons to King Gizzard are very prominent on this record, more so than the previous 3.
I would say personally that for me, I prefer King Giz.
Okay.
If you were to compare them side by side, and I do think they were. What I've heard of this was very similar to that music.
Yeah,
I prefer what King Gizzard do with it more than psychedelic Pawn Crumpets. But
fair enough. I think for me, if I listen to Pawn Crumpets, I'd very, very seldom put on a whole album. But I'd put my favourite from.
Are they like
whole.
a singles band?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think it's because it's so much to take on, isn't it, at once?
Yeah, I think so. I do really enjoy the third album, as I said, now for the whatchamacallit, but I don't know. I do think they are kind of a highlights band, if that's how you want to describe them.
I want to describe them as a singles band.
Okay, a singles band.
Just like the
You
Supremes,
do.
you know every single one.
Yeah. That's just you, we don't. You know every single one.
Of course.
Liam. Oh wait. Oh no, yeah. Liam, it's about
Yeah.
time you told us about your favourite band again.
Second part of the Black Country New Road episode, special edition. I'm going to talk about the new album. That's Black Country New Road, by the way, in case you didn't catch that. The new album For the First Time, released this week. Where am I going to start? I've made notes, but they're not very followable. 6 songs, 2 of which have been out for a few years. Another 2 have been released in the run-up. And then of the 2 that are remaining, one's an instrumental and one's mostly instrumental. So, kind of going into it, I wasn't sure what to expect from it. I've always liked the 2 songs that have been out for a while, and then which are Athens, France and Sunglasses, and then the 2 singles coming up, Science Fair and Track X, I really like, particularly Track X.
Catch your breath, mate.
I need to catch my
Shall I
breath.
give you a little fact about Athens, France while you're catching your
No,
breath?
no, because I might say it.
Oh, okay.
Text it to me. I'll let you
Nope.
say it if I don't.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so I'm going to start from the top, because where else to start? So it starts off with
The
instrumental,
middle of
which
an
is
adventure.
funnily enough an instrumental track. It's actually probably the most different of all the tracks, and it seems very kind of like I want to say Bondish, but it's not Bondish. But I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. It seems very kind of grand like that, I guess, and very kind of I don't know, but it's still kind
Good
of
that you know what you're on about.
yeah. I've struggled this album, to be honest, to try and like put it into words, but
Pinpoint it.
it's still exactly.
Struggle
It's
with the
still
podcast
very.
to try and put it into words.
Yeah. It's definitely typical black country.
Who are?
Do I call them black country or new road? What was I saying?
It's not Black Country.
What is it?
What should I say? New road. It's typical them anyway, but yeah, lots of twists and turns. Like the musicality of the band is amazing. There's 7 of them. You know, there's a sax player, there's a violinist, there's keys, guitars, blah, 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 all them lot. But the way the sax and the violins work together, I really love. It's actually it's something that I'm seeing a lot in modern bands, is the inclusion of a violinist or are they called violinist? Have I made that up? No.
A violinist.
And a saxophonist. And I really love that, especially saxophones. I think that's a great addition to like kind of.
Sounds like you hate
Modern
saxophones,
indie.
doesn't it, if you're a saxophonist?
Yeah, you're right. It does actually,
Saxophone.
because it's actually a saxophonist. But yeah, anyway, instrumental's instrumental. I really
Hate
like
sax?
it. I can't really pinpoint what I'm trying to say about it, but it's good. Then we go into
I can tell.
Athens, France. Okay. So my
We're
notes. I'm
Lovely.
going to Athens, France.
When?
My notes here
In
are
a
very.
pandemic? You're
I
crazy.
don't give a shit. My notes are very much comparing it to the original. So the original's been taken off Spotify. So really the only ones we have, the way of getting the old one is the uploads on YouTube. So the first thing I noticed was that there's a change in the title. The original they're both called Athens, France, but the original
France, Athens.
no the original had an apostrophe in Athens, as if it was owned by someone called Athen.
Yep.
Which I don't really know. And then this one is like Athens in Greece, maybe.
Yes.
And so it's changed, and I feel like this somehow. I'll go into the lyrics a bit more in a moment. It's gone from about someone to about something instead, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'll carry on. The lyrics are changed almost completely. There's lots of reused lyrics within the song from the original version, but he's changed a lot of the kind of references to a female figure, to I in some places, and obviously mixed around with kind of tense and the structure of the sentence to make that make more sense. And it feels in some ways to me like a sequel to the original. It feels like the
Wow.
follow-on.
Now you know what you're saying. It's good.
I've got a note here.
This is good.
It feels like a follow-on to that first song. I've heard that in interviews and things, or maybe not interviews, but I've definitely seen talk that the singer doesn't feel. Sorry, I've got no citations here. The singer feels like the originals are a bit too personal. This is for Athens, France and Sunglasses. They're too personal, and specifically Sunglasses talks about like impotence. And I guess this does as well in a way. It's very kind of personal sexually and stuff. And so it feels like this is him as as he's matured, kind of looking back on that first song.
Cheese.
The original version of Athens, France. And and the references to sex and struggling with sex are gone. Less personal information, and it kind of feels like a cathartic kind of ending to that original, that kind of like a reflection on that original version, and it feels like you can feel that he's tied that kind of up, if that makes sense, that kind of how he felt at that time. Also, I think the ending to the song itself adds that massively musically, where the original had a very kind of aggressive ending musically. Where that would kick in the original, this one becomes very kind of it's beautiful. It's just like beautiful. It doesn't go heavy.
Understated.
It goes completely the other way, basically, and that feels again very cathartic, and it works really well. So I've also seen a lot of talk that people hate these changes to these two songs and prefer the old ones because there's less swearing.
Can I just drop in a little fact since you've not mentioned it?
Go on, throw it in. I've got no more facts, so go on. This is fresh.
Perfect. Athens, France. Did you spot the Phoebe Bridgers reference in the lyrics?
They do reference a lot of artists, but I don't think I noticed that.
Okay, so he says, "Why don't you speak with an English accent? I guess it's too late to change it now." And that's up. He's changed the words ever so slightly from motion sickness.
Oh, really?
Which is, why do you sing with an English accent? I guess it's too late to change that now. And I realised that just by listening to it, not by Googling fun facts on Athens,
fair
France.
play. That's very interesting.
So, yeah.
If you
the
Google
original-
fun facts on Athens, France, it'd come back and say Athens is in Greece.
Greece, you know that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that line was in the original as well, and he does sing with an American accent, even though he's English, so that's cool. I'll definitely do that. Well done, Yanni. Thank you for that.
Facts.
Beautiful.
You're welcome, Liam. Carry on.
Moving on to the next track is Science Fair. I'm not going to go into much detail about this. I like this song. I don't love it. It's probably for me the weakest song on the album in some ways, but I still think it's really good. At the same time, I think it's a brilliant song. I'm kind of glossed past that because I haven't really made a note of that for some reason. Next up, I mean, there's only 6 songs to be fair. I've got no excuse. The next song, and again, I've got a lot to talk about here. Sunglasses. So straight away, I noticed there's a slightly quicker tempo, or at least it feels like there is, and it's the same with Athens, France as well. But with the other changes in the song, despite there being a quicker tempo, it feels more like melancholic and less frenetic is the word I used. Which again, with the other song, works to me in that kind of closing off, being less frenetic. The singer Isaac, his delivery is very different in parts. So most of the lyrics in the song are the same. But the way he sings it is different, and I think that helps to reduce that freneticness, that frenetic energy. And alongside that, the breakdown that's in the middle of the song between like the intro and with the sunglasses part, essentially, the big breakdown in the middle, is a lot shorter and doesn't sound as crazy, and that also works as well. That with the lyric changes and the kind of lack of like whispering and rambling and stuff that he does in the original version.
Rambling, you say?
Rambling, yeah. Fuck off. This is planned. I think it turns into an easier song to listen to. I think it's more of a song that you'd listen to than the original, if that makes sense. Although some lyric changes don't make a lot of sense to me. It's one where he said big farmer, which rhymed with the line beforehand, and he's changed that to pig, and so it doesn't have that kind of rhyming resolution. Yeah, I go for that. But most of them help to fit within the context. He gets rid of the line of leave your citrulline in the cabinet and fuck me like you mean it this time, which was the original line, which is about stop taking your antidepressant drugs that make you impotent and fuck me properly, basically. He's changed that to something else. I don't know what the new line is. And burn the cards that leave behind, and burn the cards that you have left behind, or something like that. I don't know what that line actually means. I can't really make sense of what it is. But removing that line about having sex properly because you're no longer struggling to get a hard on, again, fits with what I was saying before about Athens, France. Feels more mature. It makes more sense.
Does that line really
Um,
resonate with you?
Yeah, it did originally. Also, leave Kanye out of it. I love that line. That's still in there.
Kanye always finds his way in it.
He always
There's
does.
no leaving Kanye out. He'll make sure he's mentioned.
He's always around. The intro at the beginning of Sunglasses that they've added, just like a simple guitar, kind of dirty sounding guitar, I think is great. I think it really
I
works.
thought it was a bit unnecessary, to be honest.
I like it. I feel like it makes it fit within the album more.
Okay.
Personally, I like it. But there was a kick drum pattern before, when it comes back in after that breakdown. It's about to go into "I am invincible in my sunglasses." There was a kick drum pattern that was really good, and it's literally just gone to an on the beat thing. And I'm very sad that I feel like that's such a shame that that's no longer there.
He's very
small.
upset.
I'm very upset. Track X is the next song. It's beautiful. I really like it. I love the storytelling in it. Mentions a bunch of other bands in there. I love the guitar. I love everything. It's just great. And then Opus. Opus is the last song. Is this big kind of meandering track of like multiple parts. I mean, all their songs are. I think it's a great opener. It's when it first. I mean, it gets quite heavy on Science Fair, but this is the first major point where it is really heavy, like the older songs towards the end. And I think that kind of crescendo makes a lot of sense and ends the album really well. There's a part in there which is definitely ska. You could definitely, is it skanking? You could definitely skank to that song. I think that's what ska people do. Might not be called skanking, but the kind of, the specials.
Is it skanking?
That kind of move. You could definitely do that to part of that. So maybe that's just because there's technically horns in there. It's definitely ska. That's enough. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to finish off with this. I think Black Country New Road are a band that clearly don't take themselves too seriously, but have, in this instance, taken themselves seriously, and it's paid off, definitely. I think it sounds amazing. I think it's structured really well. Despite only being 6 songs, they're all long songs. It doesn't feel like any of those long songs drag too much, and it also doesn't feel like there's not enough kind of variety, because most of the songs kind of have 2 parts, so it doesn't feel like it's too much. It's very reflective to me, as I said before, but also you can clearly tell the confidence they've gained. Also, the comparing to the originals of those 2 songs, they sound beautiful, as in like quality wise, and I think that also helps to the whole kind of general feeling of having resolved something. I think that makes a lot more sense. It makes it feel less hectic. And there's certain parts of some of those originals, some of those 2 songs, that because the quality is so much better, they really stand out in these versions as opposed to the original. But anyway, it's just my opinion. I know you didn't want to listen to me for that long. I guess now I have to rate it.
You do.
I say that you like this a lot.
I really don't know what to do. I really don't know what to give it.
Just be honest.
So when I first heard it, very first hearing, I thought straight away it's at least a 4 out of 5. And then I listened to it a lot since. And up until today, kind of after that first hearing, hear it a few more times, up until today, it was a 5 out of 5. And then today, just thinking about being a bit more critical about it, I don't know as much. I don't know whether it deserves the full 5, but then I also feel like giving it 4 is a disservice.
In that case, Liam, we're going to need to hurry you for an answer here.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
There we go.
I just want to preface that with, I know we don't do this, but if it was out of 10, it's a 9 out of 10. So it's on the border. It's a light 5 if you want to go mellow on it. It's a light 5.
Wow. Well, is that the first 5 we've given?
No.
Is it not?
Live Drugs got 5.
Oh.
From me, anyway. I don't think...
So it's you being dead frivolous, as always.
Of course. But yeah, thanks for listening to me. I appreciate you indulging me and all that. I had a lot to say.
Okay.
I'd like to hear what you have to say now.
Yanni, do you want to go
Absolutely
first? Oh, you've got nothing to say?
My favourite track is track X. I liked all your points. Just didn't like listening to you. Yeah, like I said, about Sunglasses. I don't like that new guitar part at the start, but I see what you mean about it sort of fit in with the rest of it now. I didn't really like Opus, to be honest, but I think that's just my issue with long songs. So,
Yeah.
Cod
It's
Schlong.
quite wearing, I guess, but...
God songs? No, I don't have an issue with God songs. In fact, I follow them. And so can you on the Instagram account. No, but yeah, I liked all the ones obviously that have been previously released. But yeah, favourite by a mile is track X. So just that guitar is just, the riff is just so melancholic.
Yeah.
I think I'd describe it as. Cal?
Now, I don't think it's any. What's the word I'm looking for?
Surprise?
Yeah, it's not a surprise, or it's not news that I despised.
We're past the news, mate. We're on hot off the press.
But yeah, I despised everything I'd heard from this band
You had, yeah. Wow, I forgot about
until I pressed play on this album, and it just clicked, and I got it, and I don't know why. Can't pinpoint it. It must be the new versions of the songs. As you said, they're easier to listen to, maybe, so more accessible for me. I've since gone back and listened to the old versions, and I still prefer the new versions. But I really, really liked it. It's one of my favourite albums. Well, it's my second favourite album I've heard this year. I mean, I know we're only in the second month, but still, I wasn't expecting that to be a thing when I heard
I'm
they
shocked
were
by
releasing
that.
an album. I know they've done stuff together, but they really remind me of Black Midi. There's a part in Opus which is like a breakdown, and if it's not the breakdown of Schlagenheim, it is almost identical. But Sunglasses is my favourite on the album.
It's cool.
Particularly
I'm
like
glad
the lyrics.
it's cool to hear that. It's cool considering I know you didn't like it before. And I don't know if I'm talking out my house here, but it just kind of
Definitely.
washes over you, doesn't it? It doesn't really like... I feel like for me, it took hold every time I listened to it. I think it's a great album. I think for me, this is, like we said about Shame, this is going to be, if it isn't in the top 10 conversation at the end of the year, be very shocked.
Definitely. Now, Yanni,
That's me.
can you sum up your next album in one word, because we have run out of time?
Good.
Okay, brilliant. That's it. See you next week.
Done. See you next week. Bye, guys.
Now, what have you been listening to, Yan?
I've had the distinct pleasure of listening to Mute Swan. I was going to listen to Very Talkative Swan, but they were really pissing me off, so I decided to move to Mute Swan.
Reuse, reduce, recycle.
Yes.
That was better out loud.
Yeah, did it? Good.
Yeah, well.
That joke's been a week in the making, by the way, guys. People listening. With the song, no, with the album even. Only Ever, although there is a song called Only Ever on the album, which I'll get to. This album, very shoegaze, psychedelia genres. I'm just going to throw words at you.
Please.
Alternative, rock, music, rhythm. My first note was that fuzz guitar sound is throb-inducing.
Two verbs.
And that exactly that stays throughout. That doesn't go away. That throb is on, baby. So go to it. Go Out in Light, the opener. I think it's a good opener. It does a good job of informing the rest of the album. Would say it changed enough when it needed to, so I didn't lose interest, which can happen with shoegaze with me, and I think for a lot of people because it can be very repetitive and just long. But yeah, I like that. Burnt Almond. The drums make it sound like a Tame Impala tune from like Lonerism era. If you guys listen to that, you might get that. What the fuck, doesn't make any sense. Did I put unfortunately was a little too smart for me, but I don't think I meant the word smart because I definitely understood it.
You struggle with big words, mate.
I struggle with listening. Oh, that's probably offensive, isn't it?
The drums do remind me also of Lonerism to get you out of that hole, Yanni. Carry on.
Thanks. The hole is dug though, isn't it? Anyway,
Who's
if you can
dug?
cut that out, Cal, thanks.
No.
Or just pull a guy with a shovel on his head. Anyway, Sedative Sun.
Doug.
You know, how slow are you then?
That was the point.
A standout track is Sedative Sun. Again, I really like the guitar tones throughout. I really like the guitar tones, to be honest. And I'm always going to have an ear for guitar over anything else first because that is my first instrument. But the drumming throughout as well is very good. The After Only Ever, it sort of became a bit too much for me. But again, I think that's just because it's shoegaze and it's difficult to reinvent the wheel but still remain within that genre. And they didn't reinvent it, but it was exciting enough because it was new, I think, which is what entertained me the most about it. I said Life Like Dream is more dream poppy, but again, very much enjoyed the groove of that. Enough so that one wasn't boring. I thought maybe should have been Only Ever should have been a few songs earlier because that was just an instrumental. So was, I think no, it wasn't. I'm chatting on my ass. Dissolution was also an instrumental, and I said that in my notes I've said that should have been the closer for me. I felt like Enough Fun was a very odd song to end on.
I agree with that. Actually, I went to check on Dissolution because it felt like it was the end of the album. I went to go and put more music on. And I was like, oh, there's a song left.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Enough Fun, but because of the placement, I didn't, which is
that makes sense.
Just goes to show how much album placements affect how you like the songs. But
says the guy who listens to albums on shuffle.
Well, I don't do that now. Well, actually, that's a complete utter lie. I do that after I've listened to it for the sake of the podcast. But I like to keep it entertaining, keep it interesting. Each time it's different.
It's not right.
The last couple of songs, unfortunately, just became a bit much for me. And the ordering of the last two was definitely wrong, in my opinion and Liam's opinion. But overall, I very much enjoyed it. I've not gone and listened to any of their other stuff, but I'm definitely intrigued. There's a lot of songs I did like on this. Did anyone else listen to this?
Do you want to give us your rating before we
talk?
talk
Can't your rating? Come on, don't be like that.
Oh, please don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. No, don't let me do it.
Do it.
4 out of 5, but a low 4.
Okay.
Still a 4?
Yeah, it's just because the last couple of songs I wasn't really too bothered about was the only problem, or I just became a bit like, oh, I'm listening to this, a bit like bored of it at that point. Not to say they weren't good, it's just I just lost interest at that point because I get very bored very quickly.
Sorry, me,
so
Swan, you got the wrong
now,
person.
can you two speak, please?
Kyle, you go first.
What was the quote you used, Yanni, when you described this album to me?
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
You said it'd be right
the
up your alley, I
guitar
think.
thing.
Yeah, but he said
right
something.
down your alley.
You said something. It doesn't matter. But
let me find that. I'm just going to insert that randomly when you're giving your opinion.
Okay. It's no secret that I'm a big shoegaze fan. I did really like this album. I've only heard it the once. My two standout tracks were Burnt Almonds and Life Like a Dream, which were two Yanni singled out. I'm 100% going to be going back and listening to it again. I've already added them two tracks onto my shoegaze playlist.
I put, consider this rammed in your alley. Rammed!
Fair play.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that. It was very much a Callum album, and I did enjoy it. That's all I have to say.
I also agree it's a Callum album.
Yeah, definitely.
I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I listened to this before Porn Crumpets, and I preferred this. I also, for me, Burnt Almonds and Life Like Dream were also probably my standouts.
Yay!
Although, I agree that the last instrumental should have probably ended, although I did like the last song, kind of like you said. But I liked the last instrumental. I thought it was good. That was another standout. I want to just quickly say that you said Sedative Sun. I think it should be Sedative.
Sedative Sun.
Yeah, just want to quickly throw it out.
Sorry.
And also, Colin, you said Life Like a Dream, and it's actually Life Like Dream. And Yanni also said burnt almond, and it's burnt almonds. But anyway, correction corner done.
Jesus Christ.
Gotta get these things right. But yeah, I think it was a really good album. I enjoyed listening to it. I'd listen to it again. I'd be interested in listening to their other stuff. I kind of have this. I could be completely wrong here, but I have this vibe that I reckon like I don't know. This isn't their debut album, is it?
No.
No, I don't think it is. I kind of have this feeling that their first album might not be as shoegazy. They seem like a band that have evolved into this, but actually now I've just seen the album art. I think it probably is. But yeah, now I'd be
Good
interested in
stuff.
going back and listen to it.
New segment. Liam does shoegazing coming soon.
Oh God, don't make me do that. This was the best kind of shoegaze is on there. It's not on their Wikipedia, but you know what I mean. They are shoegaze band kind of thing, or at least one of their kind of genres. And this was the favorite I've heard of that. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Is it worth mentioning that this is their second album? The first one was released in 2015. That's a long time.
Wow. 6 years ago.
Well done, Liam.
Quick maths.
In a couple of days as well, actually. Interestingly, in February.
Wow.
Perfect. That was our three main choices, main albums that we were forced to listen to. Otherwise, they would murder our family. Who are they? Who knows?
We don't know.
Why don't you tell us about the banger that is Blister in the Sun by Trixie Mattel?
You want me to say Trixie Mattel?
Yeah.
Blister in the Sun, the banger of a song by Trixie Mattel, the
Yes.
famous drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race, winner of
She
All
was dragon.
Stars 3. Sorry for the spoilers. All Stars 2, 3. She is not a dragon. Blister in the Sun, lyrics are awful. Song is very catchy. Very
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Lyrics are bad. The lyrics are very bad. But it's a very catchy
It's still
song.
enjoyable.
It's been stuck in my head since the second I heard it. That chorus is
I
great.
always feel like whenever you suggest one of these drag artist songs, it's always going to be like something you'd hear in like a club. So
like Euro
stuff like that.
kind of thing.
Yeah, Euro pop like stuff,
Yeah.
Euro dance pop, whatever shit.
Euro dance.
But this was completely not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I wasn't
but really
expecting it.
enjoyable.
Have you ever listened? I mean, I'm sure you haven't, Yanni. Have you ever listened to Trixie Mattel's music before?
No, I've never seen any US Drag Race, so
Oh,
this
okay.
was my first,
Foray.
experience of Trixie.
Foray.
First look at tricks.
Trixie is a great drag queen, but she's done a few albums before this. They're quite usually quite short albums. But
Has she
they're
had a number one?
I don't doubt it.
Karis thought she had.
Oh, I don't know. Not of one of her songs, I don't think.
Go on, you carry on
But
talking.
she does country music mostly, kind of like country pop almost. But yeah, it's very different to like, the Frock Destroyers. And to be fair, most American. Katia Zamolodchikova, one of the other drag artists who
tennis player.
works. Yeah, who works with Trixie quite a lot. Just recently put an album that's all in Russian. She's American, all in Russian, and it's called Vampire Fitness. And I'm sure you can kind of get the vibe there. That is very heavy Euro, crazy stuff going on. But this is probably the poppiest, one of the more poppy songs she's put out. Really.
It got to number one in the US Heat Seekers chart, which I don't think counts.
What song is it? Was it? An album?
The second album,
Oh, okay.
One Stone.
Yeah, it's good.
Two
And
Birds
her,
Bled
like-
to number 2. Carry on.
Her tours and stuff are her performing the songs mostly. So she's cool. She's cool. Anyway, let's move past Trixie Mattel.
Yeah.
To a band we have
Backed.
not mentioned in so long.
Welcome back to the Black Country New Road episode. Okay, so they recently did a performance. Oh God, I don't even know who this is. I should have already know who this is from.
God, you
I
are
think it's
useless.
a Bandcamp. They did a kind of live performance of a few tracks. Well, no, I think it was supposed to be a jam session kind of thing. I'm going to quickly find out where this is from. It's from a Bandcamp live improv stream. So they improved for, say, half of it, and then they played 2 songs, which obviously aren't improv, but I guess probably incorporate a lot of improv. That's what they are. One of the songs they played has since been named by Isaac, the singer, as Bread Song. I think they were doing a Twitch thing or something where he's confirmed it's called Bread Song. It's a fully formed song. It's not been heard before. Did you listen to it, guys?
Yep.
And what did you think, Callum?
Wasn't mad on it.
Yanni hasn't listened to it.
No, didn't listen to it. Sorry. I listened to the one that you're about to mention next.
I would say Callum, I wasn't massive on it. I've only listened to it today.
Yeah, I've only heard it
it's-
once, so it might
It's
grow on me.
very it doesn't really go. It's a bit more like track X in that it's quite a standard. There's not much
Yeah.
deviation from the kind of straight line. So I
Karis
think
was
it
with
would-
me when I was listening to it, and she said that he needs to sing with a smile.
Lydia hates Black Country New Road. She absolutely hates it. Every time I've got it on, she wants to kill me. But yeah, I think this would be the track X of an album. I'd like to hear it recorded properly.
Yeah.
Especially if it's recorded as well as the album. But cool, yeah. And they also performed a cover of MGMT's Time to Pretend, a banger. Did you know that it's used to be called The Management?
Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on.
What did you think?
Shit.
Really? I really liked it.
Straight up
Yeah.
shit. Straight up shit,
No,
yeah.
I didn't like it at all. It's just
Okay.
the whole point of that song is that it's really. I mean, NGMT they're like fun. That era anyway. It's like,
But that song is like actually quite like dark and
well, yeah, but I didn't like their rendition, their take on this song. Sorry.
okay.
Fair
Callum,
enough.
what were you gonna say?
I really liked it. I like it when covers don't do the same as the original. They definitely made it their own thing.
Well, don't make me seem like that's all I like when covers
No,
are exactly
it
the
is.
same
No,
as
No, I
what they
never said
are.
that, did I? But
Um,
I'm saying
You're
what I
implying.
liked about it. I'm not saying
Yeah,
what
but you didn't even like
about it.
Y Oak's cover of Running Up That Hill. You fucking maniac.
Oh, well, you're just wrong on that scenario, aren't you?
Yeah, but I can see it in your eyes.
Wow.
see you smile.
But yeah, I liked it.
I-
I thought it had a nice ending. It went a bit, you know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
In words.
I really liked it too. I thought it fit
Woohoo!
I think it fit the lyrics really well. There's a few changes in the lyrics that were kind of weird, but yeah, I liked it, and I liked it. The kind of the main it wasn't in for like a good chunk of it until like after like the second chorus or something, and then the violin started playing it, and I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah,
It was beautiful. Beautiful. Enough of Black Country New Road. It's not the end of that. But
It
we
is for
move on
this
to the next
episode,
song.
No,
It's
it's
not.
not.
There's more.
There's more.
We
It's
move
not,
on
yeah.
to the next song from the Lazy Eyes called "Where's My Brain?" Where is it? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Talk to me.
I'll go. Yanni probably hasn't listened to it.
I've actually listened to everything this week.
Oh
apart from
my
that Black Country New
giddy
Road.
hard. I'm glad I'm sat down. I liked it in parts, and I thought, from the sound of it, they definitely have potential. I don't know if they're a new band or they've been around for years, but I think it went on a bit, personally. But it's my type of music. Like, I did like it.
Do you know if
So-
you listened to the edit or the full version?
Well, I watched the YouTube video, so probably the full version.
There's like a 3-minute version as opposed to 6 minutes.
Oh, fair enough.
Which I think worked a lot better.
Fair enough. Well, ignore me then.
I
Just go
agree.
and listen to the edit. I like the song.
I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty. I think they're Australian. Oh yeah, they're Australian. Psychedelic rock. It's
Like,
quite-
they're
Is
psychedelic
that
rock.
all
Prominent.
Australia produces?
Literally all
Rock.
they do, because it's so hot that it just melts their brain.
Where's their brain?
Psychedelically. Yeah, where is it?
Wow.
I liked it. Yeah, I would listen to more
Wow.
of their stuff. Yeah, what do you think?
This will be just a recurring theme through the rest of the songs that we've had to listen to, apart from the other ones, which are just shite. Yeah, it was good, but like nothing has really stuck out to me this week. So I enjoyed it, yeah, but I don't know. It might have been just the wrong time for me to have listened to them. I did have to sort of get through every single thing, and there was a lot this
There's a
week,
lot.
so that might have hindered my enjoyment. But having a quick listen there while you were talking, Kyle, yeah, it's all right. Definitely is up. Ran down your alley again, isn't it?
is. It is. Fully placed right up the threshold. Next up, we have Hands Up, My Alley, by Alan.
2 hands. Christ.
I really like this song, but I wanted to say, A lot of bands are doing this style at the moment, aren't they?
Mm.
It was very,
Yes.
it's very
I was gonna
like
say that.
do nothingy kind of.
Yeah.
I think the
exactly
vocals
like
I think the vocal delivery kind of reminded me of Do Nothing.
Also,
and
Yard Act a little bit.
on one hand, I'm all for it, but I'm
What's
a
your other hand saying?
bit worried about overconsumption.
Is it rammed up?
It is.
You
You
can't-
can't read it.
can't
It's
hear
just fully.
Hands up, please, Calm.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this is because it's music we look out for, or if every man and their dog are doing this
It's-
type of music at the moment. You know what I mean?
I think it's on the rise, for sure. That kind of almost speaking style. I mentioned it. What it's called? It's got like a German name, hasn't it? But
Yeah, but
Sprechen
we didn't
something.
listen to.
You didn't listen to it. I couldn't find it. I was just quickly googling it. But I think it's just a very. I don't know. Bands must be.
Wait, is Liam talking
discovering-
right now?
Liam is talking. Bands must be discovering, some of those bands that did that. I don't know. I'm rambling. Next
Yeah.
up, we
Anyway.
have a little cheeky little album that I wasn't aware of before seeing it was out from Hayley Williams of Paramore fame. It's called Flowers for Vases / Descansos, whatever that means. And it's an album, yeah. I listened to it in full. I think Yanni, did you listen to it in full by any chance?
Andy, who's it? No, I didn't listen to this in full. No,
Did you listen to any of it? What did you listen to?
I listened to the single.
My Limb.
Didn't like it as much as the tracks that we listened to a while ago. There was
Petals for
acoustic
Armour.
ones.
Acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, basically that. Didn't like it as much as that. Really didn't. I wouldn't really listen to this myself
Colin?
if I had to.
I completely mirror Yanni's thoughts. I listened to My Limb and Over Those Hills, and I much preferred Over Those Hills, but it's still nothing that's going to make me come listening back. That was a really poor
Oh,
place
you did.
to
It was.
to come crawling back. I was trying to say, but I thought that doesn't make sense, so I stopped.
I
Pause.
did listen to it in full, I think, or did I not?
You told
I
me you
think
did.
you,
oh
Phil?
God, no! I did definitely listen to it in full. I only recognise half these songs. Yeah, there's some that I quite liked. Like, I actually kind of liked My Limb and Over Those Hills, but nothing very exciting. Talking about not exciting.
What are you on about?
I mean, HMLTD dropped a surprise banger.
Gave us a bonk.
Is it? Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it called? I feel like it's called Bonk 2: Return of the Bonk, but also auto consumption's mentioned a lot. I don't know if that on like emails and
No, the
stuff.
track's called Autoconsumption, surely.
And is
That's
the
what
album
I've
called
read that
Bonk
as.
2: Return of the Bonk?
I thought
Because
the way they said that they said that there's a new track on auto consumption.
Do you think the album might be called Auto Consumption? But it should be called Geese. So
Yeah, it should be called
maybe,
Geese.
no.
Well, I
What
think
was
it
that?
should now be called Bonk 2: Return of the Bonk.
Feet Salacious B.
Once
Crumb. That
again.
should be the full title.
Oh my god.
No, I just didn't like this at all.
It's proper. I said this in the group chat, but it is proper 2008 bass hunter, and it's really weird.
Yeah, Yanni, what did you think of this song?
Oh,
the
it was,
song?
yeah, it was obviously awful, wasn't it?
It was
but,
awful.
but I still kind of like. I still enjoyed it,
Yeah.
just because of how bad it was. I would never listen to it again.
No.
But
What was your
I
tagline
hope
for
this
it,
is
Liam?
on it.
I said that based on this, and I kind of had this feeling when listening to their first album, they feel like a band that only had one good album in them. Because I feel like even some of the songs on that first album were stretching it, really. Stretching being good. So, not quite making it sometimes. So I feel like they are going to do something like this, go in a completely different direction, and it's just going to be... People are going to say, oh, it's amazing, they've really changed, they're such an evolving band, the Chameleons, wow, amazing. It's going to sound like shit. It's going to sound like bad Bass Hunter. And I actually
I just hope
loathe
this
the
is a joke.
comparison to Bass Hunter, because he had some good songs.
Yeah, I hope this is a joke. This is just a
Yes.
piss take.
For sure.
If it isn't, then it's
We're all
going to
doomed.
be a nightmare.
All doomed. They might have a good third album, maybe. Next up, talking about bad songs, Pale Waves and their new single, Fall to Pieces. I didn't listen to all of this. Did anyone?
No,
Well, nice little spoiler for next week.
not the whole thing.
I have been... Well, I've kind of given myself this job, haven't I? But
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to get this album as my hot off the press pick. And I first listened to the song this morning, and I lasted 18 seconds before turning it off.
Christ.
Um,
Bad place to stop your sentence again there, mate.
Sorry, I'm doing all these dramatic pauses. Yeah, I lasted 18 seconds into the song before being like, no, this is crap. I gave it another go, and I made it to the end. And you'll be pleased to know my opinion has not changed. It's still crap. I think it somehow sounds more like every other Pale Wave song than every other Pale Wave song already does. And I don't know how that's possible. It's so generic. It's so basic. It's so crap. It's the same melody as every other song. It's the same structure. It annoyed me. And I'm going to have a shit time listening to the album next week. And I hope you're all ready for me to reach the end of my tether.
I'm not going to listen to it, Carl. I'm just going to warn you. I'm not going to listen to it.
It's fine. You'll
Leave
just
that
see
to
me.
you.
You just see the life leave my body on the Zoom call.
God. I think I lasted maybe a minute. And
Lucky
it
lady.
feels like they needed another song for the album, and they just went to a bunch of writers and said, "Oh, can you just write a Pale Wave song?" And there you go. That was it.
I can't. Luckily for me, I can't remember what any of the other songs of this album sound like.
This.
I can't remember it.
You're
But
very
this
lucky.
doesn't. Does it actually sound like this?
Honest to
because
God.
I felt like this was very different.
No.
This
it's-
seemed more saccharine to me. This seemed more like pop. Like
Stop using big words, Liam.
sorry, it's a big word though. It did actually seem a bit less interesting than the others. Like the others
I've
actually
quite
tried to do
Quickly
something
listen to
different.
She's My Religion.
Well, I quite liked She's My Religion, and I quite liked Change, which was the first track. I remember, Liam, you saying it's not too
Oh
bad.
God, yeah.
But I think
And-
the generic parts of that have been amplified in this one.
Yeah, 100%. Every song
The
structure
good
is the
bits have
same.
gone.
They have
Yeah,
4 lines in the
um,
verse. They raise the dynamics in the chorus, and they do it again 3 times. And that's
That's
the
exactly
song.
what we were complaining that Kings of Leon weren't doing.
Yeah, but when they had a whole album of doing it the first time, and then they're doing a whole album of it again, it's just, I don't know. People go on about how they're like amazing songwriters, and not to be wanky.
You should
but-
avoid those people.
Yeah.
At all
Yeah,
times.
Avoid
circles.
everyone who
I don't know.
likes
I don't know what
Dirty Hit.
forums you're in, but
No, I follow Dirty
I don't see
Hit
those
on
comments.
Twitter. I don't know why.
Well, that's your biggest mistake.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to make
Next.
a Falls on Hell policy. I'm writing it into the policy. You can no longer follow Dirty Hit.
Okay. I only
And
follow
after
them
this
because
album, we'll never listen to Pale Waves again. They're dropping from, we kind of try and keep a certain genre or style. We like to open our eyes a
Class.
little bit, but we stay within a section. Pale Waves have dropped out of that for me. They're not good enough for this podcast. I've said it.
Wow.
Send your lawyers.
Heather, the
take
lead
one.
Sounds a
singer,
bit
went
like-
to my uni.
No hope for you,
Well,
mate.
Well, yeah, you're shit out of luck, aren't you?
Apparently,
Um,
they asked her to come back to do a masterclass, and she said no. That is, again,
good for her, mate.
allegedly.
That's
Allegedly.
because everyone else writes her songs. Right. Anyway, the next one is Ackerman. Yeah?
Ackerman.
Right? That
Ackerman.
sounds
Ackerman.
like an insult. Oh, she was Ackerman.
We're making that a
the
thing.
tune.
That is now a full.
Yeah.
We've coined it.
Okay. With the song Daily Life. People tell me your thoughts because I can't remember this. Again, like with most of these, I can't remember what the fuck I've listened to. So
I thought it was
Yeah, me
groovy,
too,
but
I
it
don't know.
hasn't really struck a chord with me. I remember liking it.
good choice of words.
Thank you. I remember liking it,
Because it's a music podcast.
but yeah, and there's 3 of us, which chord.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I liked it. The riff. Do you want to call it a riff? Liam, would
Did
you
I-
call it a
I'll
riff?
call it a riff.
Yeah,
let's call it a riff.
That was funky.
No.
I like that, but it didn't really do much for me.
I also thought it was quite funky, easy to listen to, quite nice. I'd listen to an album of similar tracks, but
I
didn't
wouldn't
stand
want
out
to.
particularly. Oh,
It didn't stimulate me.
fair enough. Yanni, have you said what you think? Or maybe I just didn't catch it.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares at this point? I
Good stuff.
can't remember this song.
View by Drove is next.
Same.
Do you think of this one?
Exactly the same point. Kind of reminded me of Foals, and I have
Yes.
absolutely no idea why. It just sounded like something that Yannis would sing.
It definitely does.
Yannis, my Greek brother.
I agree
Yes.
that it sounds like Foals. It's good. It's alright though. I
think
quite like it.
I thought that. There's one that we'll be getting to
Next.
immediately after this, which sounds like another band, but even more. The comparisons are even more
Yeah.
prominent.
Talking about sounding like other bands, up next we have Alone.
We have the Strokes with the song.
Alone by Love in October, and this is the most Strokes song. It's more Strokes than the Strokes.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I quite like it. It would be a decent Strokes song,
Yeah, see,
but it's the Strokes.
you two said in the group chat how much it sounded like the Strokes, and I was not prepared for how much it sounds like the Strokes when I turned
You
it
don't
on.
even listen to the Strokes.
No,
So
but
the fact that you said that.
there's influence, and then there's plagiarism,
Straight up plagiarism.
and honest to God,
Because it isn't the Strokes, it sounds like a bad song.
I agree.
well, that says
I
your
agree.
bias about the Strokes is quite rife, Jan.
I
Well, no, 'cause
agree with that.
Liam, carry on. Yeah, thank you.
And I would say, yeah, but like I said, if it was a Strokes song, it'd be good. So if you take that away, I think it is a good song, but it's too much like the Strokes that you can't avoid that. It doesn't. It just blocks it. It really does just block it. I'd
That
be
wall
interested
is
to
too
hear
high.
if the rest of their stuff sounds like the Strokes. I'm not that interested.
Next up, we've got Fade by Violet. It's decent enough, but it's very 2007. You know, like when bands like Pigeon Detectives and The Enemy were around. His voice
Prime.
really reminds me of like being off Liam Gallagher's in Lacoste trackies. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on.
I think I'm more focused on the singer's voice.
Oh god, yeah. It sounds. No, I won't say that. Sorry, that'll get us into trouble.
Say it.
Cal, you carry on.
No, that's kind of it. But I just appreciate how Yanni said he's listened to everything, but he's now listening to songs and going, "Oh yeah," like he's never heard
Well,
them
that's
before.
because-
No, we both said before this, Cal, that we've both listened to all of it and forgotten all of it.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
yeah,
I'm re-listening
that's-
to all this
yeah,
as we go along.
How bad it was, yeah.
There's too much.
But yeah, this sounds like a bin off Liam Gallagher.
Up next, what we need to have in here, a bit of dry cleaning to get rid of all this mess. Dry cleaning on their song "Strong Feelings" from an upcoming album. They've just announced an album. Maybe that should have been in the.
You know what?
In
I don't know
news?
if we've missed this news, but Sufjan Stevens, is that how you say his name?
Sufjan.
Sufjan Stevens just
Suksu?
released a music video about 2 hours ago or something like that.
A movie?
Music video.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if he's announced a new album,
I don't know. I've not seen anything.
but I don't know if that song was new or whether this music video is just new.
He's not long
but-
released one. I don't think an album.
I did not like this dry cleaning song. Sorry.
Luca, you were the.
Did anyone else like this song?
I quite liked the vocal
I quite
delivery, but the song itself wasn't really anything too special for me. I think it might be a grower, but I
I kind of liked it. The
Well, it's good that you two are both in your phones.
Yeah, sorry.
During the recording of
I'm
this
just checking. I'm going on to the Sufjan Stevens stuff because that seems more interesting to me. The music video has been directed by Luca surname. I'm not pronouncing.
Lucas surname.
Guadagnino, I'm gonna say, who is
Guadagnino.
who was the filmmaker or director, one or the other, for Call Me by Your Name, which Sufjan Stevens, a lot of his music was in. I think he did the soundtrack, put together the soundtrack.
Isn't Call Me By Your Name like a pedo-y kind of movie?
You could say, people have said.
I think I will.
It does have Army Hammer in, who has
Loves a bit of meat, doesn't
a
he?
lot of controversy at the moment. Call Me by Your Name's a good film, I'd say. I like it.
Anyway,
Okay.
we're including this now because you realised it was from this week. Freddie Gibbs
Freddie Gibbs.
dropped a track with Schoolboy Hugh. It was good to hear Schoolboy Hugh on a track.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm keeping record of things, but the last thing I remember him being on was that Gorillaz album. And it was just nice to hear him on the song again. I didn't really like this song too much. Didn't really gel with it, but I did like Schoolboy Hugh's feature. Liam?
You didn't mention it's called Gang Signs. Just to throw that in.
Sorry. The song is called Gang Signs, everyone.
Gang
Liam,
Signs.
what's
Wakes
your
up in the
opinion on it?
morning, throws gang signs. That's basically the line. Basically, don't quote me. Freddie Gibbs. I really like Freddie Gibbs'
Quoted.
voice and his delivery, and I really like listening to him rap. And so I quite like the song. I don't particularly remember the Schoolboy Q feature.
Sorry?
I don't. You heard me. But yeah, Freddie Gibbs did it for me.
Genuinely didn't.
Oh, I said I don't really remember the Schoolboy Q feature. I don't really, off the top of my head, remember what that was like. But I went in for Gibbs, so did it for me.
Brilliant.
Are you ready to get controversial with our next one?
Callum, have you listened to Gang Signs?
I have, yeah. I've never listened to Freddie Gibbs before. It was okay. I quite liked it. It's not
Well,
really for me.
Treat
but-
yourself, mate.
He's got better songs.
Okay.
He
I'll,
has.
I'll
He's got really good ones.
tell me which ones to listen to, and I'll give you my verdict next week.
I will.
Pinata.
I will do.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Pinata, yeah. Or
Brilliant.
Alfredo.
Slow Tie is cancelled, everyone.
He
For
can never
the
be
what time?
cancelled. He's
Yeah, that's
sold
my
out
point.
shows.
Oh, I hate this song. The meaning of this song is so stupid and infuriating.
It's just pathetic. I feel like it's pathetic, and I'm going to say
Innit?
that word. It's just
Mhm.
like, shut up. Shut up.
I'm very sad at everything Slow Tie's released for this album. It's going to be our album spotlight next week.
Yay.
Along with this and Pale Waves, I'm going to be very sad next week. I'm going to need a lot of alcohol during the episode to get me through it.
Sweet.
Even Skepta can't save this boring song.
No, he's part of the problem in this song, to be honest. With what he's saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
I'm disappointed in Skepta.
It's annoying because I like the instrumental and I liked Skepta's flow and delivery. However, I did not like the meaning of the song. And I also hated Slow Tie's part as well. I can't stand Slow Tie. I don't know if that's been
I agree.
apparent in the older podcasts, but I hate him at this point in my life.
It's so sad because I really, really like the first album, but he's just a bit of a knobhead, isn't he?
Yeah. Don't be telling people you're too rich to get cancelled because you're not.
I mean, cancel culture or cancelling is a stupid thing in itself, really. What has become of that is a stupid thing. The idea of actually cancelling someone makes sense and should be done, I guess. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But for him to put this out, it's just...
For him to put this out, especially.
Like, he should be cancelled, but he can't be cancelled because he wouldn't allow it, and neither would the... So the whole thing is just this big fucking load of shit, really. It's a big crock of shit. And he is the carrot in the... No, I'm not putting carrots down like that. He's the cabbage in the crock of shit.
Yes.
And talking of cabbage, Kings of Leon, their latest single from their upcoming album, has come out today. It's called Echoing.
Echoing.
It's out... I don't know how I was going to read that. It's out Thursday, which is today. So
It's
what
now
do we
out,
think of this
obviously.
one? No, I just don't remember reading it was still there, and I got confused. I thought this was all right. I thought I like this better than 10,000 people.
100,000 people.
100,000.
100,000 people. God, it's getting bigger by the second. That I liked it more than that. I'm not sure if I liked it more than the Bandit. It's still very middling for me, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I quite liked it, and I think it will sound good in context of the album. But again, it's just crying to go somewhere, isn't it? But you
That's
said
the
it.
problem
You
with
said
all
it
these
best.
later
Liam.
songs.
Yeah, you said it best. Say what you said.
when you say nothing at all. They all have the same problem, that the chorus just doesn't go anywhere, and it really is crying out, please let me hope somewhere, take me outside of this pandemic. I actually prefer 100,000 people at this point in my life.
Wow.
Is that your favourite out of the
To the
three,
Bandit.
or just you prefer it to
Yeah.
the Bandit?
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, the Bandit's really grown on me. I do quite like it.
I would say the Bandit's grown on me. 100,000 people I still don't like. I listened to it just before. I don't like it, but it just doesn't do anything for me. I sent this to you guys. I was listening to it, and I had this idea
That's
of
good.
what the pre-chorus was. The song doesn't really have a... Well, I think it does, but it's not that interesting. But I had this idea of what the pre-chorus was, and it didn't come on, and it really confused me. And I thought, maybe I'm thinking of another Kings of Leon song. It turns out that I was thinking of the chorus to I'm a Lady by Santa Gold. And I'm not sure if there is a Kings of Leon song that has something similar to that. But if you should both listen to it. And I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but you should listen. I'm a Lady's a good
I
song.
also thought that the lead guitar parts were just a bit shit, a bit random. But yeah, does someone want to talk about Ice Age?
Yeah.
Jesus. The Holding Hands.
20,000 years ago. Was it? No, it was much longer than that. A Holding Hand. I like this. It had a very slow build-up. The whole song was a crescendo.
You've used that word twice today,
Yeah,
Liam.
crescendo. I say it properly with a shirt as well, because that's how it's supposed to be said, I think.
Yep.
But I kind of liked it. I kind of liked what was going on in it. Didn't do a lot though. I think this made me more interested in possibly what their other stuff might sound like, if that makes sense.
I've not listened to this. I didn't know it was on the thing. I do apologise.
Probably that
I also haven't listened to this. I didn't realise this was here. Was
I
this
added
put
it
on before
last minute.
we started recording? Like just
I added it
before?
on this afternoon at some point, but it must have just been after
Oh,
we've all
well.
listened to the stuff. But anyway, that
But-
did come out this week.
I had a quick skim through it, and the end part of it sounds good. So
There you go. Thanks, Ice Age. Talking of ice cold bangers,
bops.
it's a remix
Remix.
of the classic song Friday by Rebecca Black. And this remix
Beat.
features 303, Big Friedia, don't know how you say that, and Dorian Electra. Dorian. I don't know who it's remixed by. I'm going to assume it's by Rebecca Black.
I couldn't find that out, to be honest.
Or the original producer. I'm not sure. But what did we think of this one?
It was different.
I honestly don't think I've composed myself enough to give a review yet.
It was less. I don't know if it was less annoying than the original.
If it is, then that says how annoying the original is.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. It's just not for me. It's hyperpop, isn't it? That's how it's defined. And a lot of popular pop music, Mia's words, are going down this route, path. And yeah, I don't know. It was different. It was very, very different. Didn't know I hated it. I think I mentioned it beforehand that the 303 feature was a bit disappointing. I wanted more from 30H exclamation mark 3.
Yeah.
Unfortunately did not get that. Cal, are you okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks, you.
You're just struggling to listen to
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I think the Big 3D part was pointless as well. If it was just Rebecca Black and Dorian Electra, I think it would have been better.
But watch the music video if you're trying to listen to it, because that really adds to it.
It's a ride.
I really liked this song, actually. Unironically, thought it was good. If you told me this was by 100 Gex, I would just believe it straight away. It's definitely...
Yeah.
It's very good, like hyperpop kind of... I mean, it's not as kind of tech glitchy, maybe, as 100 Gex stuff. That's the word I'm going to go for. But I liked it more than the original.
Please, Liam, tell us what you want to mention
I've got something else to mention here.
before us.
There was an album that came out this week that I forgot about. And to be honest, if I knew it was coming out, I would have Maybe pushed towards Heart of the Press, but I don't know. I don't know if it's overtaken mine. But anyway, because I'd forgotten about it, and because I actually do want to listen to it, and I have listened to it partly and liked it, I'm actually gonna take it to next week's episode for Heart of the Press, although it has been released in this previous week, and it's Gone
You
Dogs.
can't do that then, can you?
No, I'm doing it, and it's Gone Dogs' album "Call Your Mum." Because we've talked about them previously for one of their songs. What was it? Drinking on School Night. And yeah, I think I'm gonna. There's not an awful lot next week that's really caught our eyes, so I'm bringing that one forward to next week.
Call back to Pale Waves and Slow Tie being on the roster next week.
Yes. And do we have a final? What's our last?
Django.
Oh, Django.
So
So
good they
lost
named them
all for us.
twice.
So good, right? Oh, what? That is the end of the.
Bloody hell, that's blinding, that, Liam. Christ,
Oh,
would you turn that blinking light off, will you? Oh, God, it's almost as bright as a bloody spotlight. Are they trying to... It's an album spotlight, that, surely.
It's gotta
Bloody
be.
hell.
Foo Fighters above, flying above, ready to kill us all with boredom. Absolute boredom. I need some medicine at midnight. Hopefully it won't make me wake up in the morning, because Jesus Christ, this album is... Callum, what did
What
you
he's saying
think?
is Liam wants to commit suicide after listening to this album.
Yanni, it's a bit deep.
You said it.
But yes. I'll start. No, I won't start. I want you to start. Callum, tell me what you thought.
Cal,
I'll start, okay. I'm going to start off on a positive.
you found one.
What?
Yeah. There is one positive that I found, that I like the song Shame Shame a little bit more
Yeah.
since
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
since we reviewed it as a single. But I still really think it suffers by not either being a heavy song or an acoustic song.
Yep.
It just kind of lingers in an awkward middle ground, which I feel...
I know it's your section, but I put Shame has grown on me since I first heard it, but that might be because the album is so bad in comparison.
It may be. But as I was saying, it suffers by not being either heavy or acoustic. It's just stuck in some sort of horrible middle ground, which is just really
Meandering.
boring, which I kind of feel is the same about the whole album, really. It's really nothing special. And if I see this album on any record store's top 10 albums of the year, I'm going to boycott that store.
Boycott them.
Unless it's
You know
Banquet
you will.
Records.
No, we're
because
going to boycott
they're the
them.
boys. It's...
You only buy from Amazon, though, don't you? You exclusively buy your vinyl from
You
Amazon.
have a,
Ah, piss off. Oh, lovely.
Fucking hell, you finished that quick, didn't he?
For a band who have made something as exciting and different as Run so recently, this feels like just pure regression and so many steps backwards from even the one song on that last album that was good. Chasing Birds is the most painfully basic thing I've ever heard lyrically, and I've listened to Pale Waves this week. It honestly makes me cringe. If I was trying to write a song and I wrote anything along them lines, I would not write a song for about 2 weeks, because I'd just be like, it's not working at the moment. No. And
we've released some absolute wet songs now.
and I've managed to compile my thoughts into one succinct tagline that will
Please.
hopefully follow this album for the rest of time.
Go on.
Bland, safe, middle of the road dross.
Josh from Friends.
And that is the nicest thing I can say about it. Me saying that it's bland and safe is nicer than me saying that it's shit, because it is.
Don't give me a score. I know we normally wait till the very end to give all our scores, don't we?
Yeah.
But don't, please.
I won't.
Liam.
You want me to tell you what I think? I was
Yes,
being
I do,
overly
yeah.
harsh. I was being overly harsh at the beginning, but I didn't really enjoy the album very much. I agree that Shame grew on me. But I've also heard it on the radio a few times recently, and I think that's actually partly why I like it. I've also heard Waiting on a War on the radio a few times, and I hate that song. I just really hate that song over it. It's really not a good song. Neither is No Son of Mine, and the way it feels out of time really stresses me out. I think it is out of time. For someone that was a drummer for, I mean, that didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I've
Most
got
of
some
that stuff was
comments on
out of time as well.
Wait, it was the drummer in Nirvana?
Yeah, Kurt Cobain. So I quite liked. I might just be making this up. I think I quite liked Holding Poison and parts of Cloud Spotter. There's like a guitar part, like certain notes that sound kind of cool and that. But in general, it kind of reminds me of like hair metal, just like Poison or something, like from like the 80s or whenever that was. I'm guessing it's the 80s.
Yeah.
But just that kind of like cringy, like I don't know what to say. It's just cringy. It's really cringeworthy. Like I feel like I'm not trying to tell him to grow up, but he needs to grow up a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Dave Grohl up. But yeah, no, that's about it for me, really. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yanni.
So
Strap in, everyone.
Here we go.
Making a fire. My comments on this. Why do I feel like I should be in Southern America surrounded by intolerant trailer park folk with an armless denim jacket and a can of Bud Light?
Why do you feel
that? That was just how it felt for like
I
Southern
agree.
rock.
Yep.
Again, yeah, shame. Next one there. Shame that this is the best song on the album. When it's still shit. Wish it went more places. No Son of Mine. To emphasise your point, my comment was the rhythm just fucks me off.
It's bad.
It's just horrendous. Holding Poison sounds like it should be the intro to a really bad US home makeover show. Chasing Birds, I just questioned, is this even the same album? At that point, because that was just very different. Love Dies Young, this is when I just wanted to end my life. Oh my god, this is actually awful. Why is this something Foo Fighters thought was good enough to put on an album? Nail in the fucking coffin.
When you introduced that song, I thought you were about to say you love the song. The way you said Love Dies Young, I was like, oh my god, what?
I didn't actually like any song on this album.
Pretty damning report
So,
there.
Those are my points. I hope you don't mind that I missed out some of the tracks, but I couldn't bring myself to even type an opinion. So, I think it's fair to say it's a 2 out of 10.
Have you actually given it a 2 out of 10?
Yeah. And I know we said that we shouldn't do this, but like you were getting at before, when you know they can make good music,
Yeah.
and they make something like this, that pisses me off. Like I'm disappointed with Mr. Kroll. Well, I'm upset that I had to listen to it. Disappointed with the outcome. So yeah, 2 out of 10. Foo Fighters, don't do this shit again. You've been told.
I'm going to give this a 2 feels really bad. But I kind of want to give it a 2.
I'm going to give it this album.
I'm going to give it
2 isn't
3
bad.
out of 10. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters at this point. It's a 3 out of
No. See, I started off the day thinking it was a 5 out of 10.
10. Okay.
And then I listened to it again and it ain't. It's a 3 out of 10 for me as well.
Yeah. Perfect. Spot on.
Yep.
So that leaves us with an aggregate score of, I don't know if that's the right use of that word.
Aggregate
8.
is not a term we use in this podcast.
That's 8. So divide that by 3. We're looking at 2 and 2.66. I'm guessing. Is that about right? Yep. So our mean. Yanni, ask me. Come on, you ask me.
Liam, what would you say the mean is?
The mean is 2.6 recurring.
And the mode?
It's a 3.
What would you say the median is, though, Liam?
I would say it's also a 3.
And for all those Range boys and fans of the Range,
Lagrange,
what
ZZ
would
Top.
they be looking at?
Lagrange. ZZ Top.
Lagrange.
Sorry. CZ top. 1. It's a 1. And if you expect anything else, really, it's pretty much always a 1.
It's your own fault.
So one of the lowest score, lower than Lonely the Brave. I actually think that's
That's a bit
not
harsh.
right. I think that's not right.
I don't think it
I think
is
we're being
when,
too kind
like
to
I
Lonely the Brave.
say, we know they can do a lot better and they produce shit like this. Sorry, I know I'm ranting on about it, but god damn, this album just
Yeah.
pisses me off.
I think a rating is pointless here. I think this is a not good. This is a mellow not good.
Yeah.
And that concludes our album Spotlight. And we are now going to run through our records of the week on Under the Needle.
Give me that arm, boy. I'm going to tat you up.
Oh, no, not now. I'm busy.
Did you suddenly turn 80 at the end of it?
I don't want any tattoos today, please, sir. Callum, what do you want to tell us about today?
Jesus
Tattoo day.
Christ. I've got 3 records this week. They're stopping now. These are like some pre-orders and sale stuff that I had purchased.
Great.
The first one is Phoebe Bridgers' album Punisher. Resident released some more of the Love Record Store Day Blue and Red Galaxy version vinyl. I don't know if they're represses or if they just had more stock. I don't know. But I got that very quickly. By the time I went to tell the boys in the chat that it had been restocked, it had sold out.
Yep.
So, well, I'm
Brilliant.
I'm obviously going to buy it first before I tell you, aren't I?
Should have ordered 3 with,
Yeah, because I shit
No,
money.
Clearly.
Well, clearly you do with the amount of records you've
Clearly
done,
do.
It's my student loan. It will stop when I graduate. But
When
yeah,
I graduate.
great album. Been listening to it a lot lately. Very good stuff. Next
Good stuff.
is Fibs by Anna Meredith on Winter Wind LP. This was in a sale. I think it was like a tenner or something from Resident again. Annoyingly, saw it the day after, so I didn't have the same postage, but we move.
That's, I hate that about life.
It's very annoying, isn't it? I was tempted to email them, but I thought I'm not being that
They don't
skimpy.
do it.
Oh, don't they? Oh.
It depends who you get. Yeah, I don't know if Banquet do specifically, but
Banquet have done it for me in the past.
I always get ad off. They
Oh.
might have.
Fair enough. But yeah, I heard this on Mercury Prize. Really like the song Paramore. It's very good.
I love
And and my last one is Liam. How would you pronounce this?
Shiger!
By Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. You know my thoughts on that.
Lydia's going to murder you, isn't she?
You know my thoughts on that album. I've just bloody told you an hour
I
ago.
wasn't listening.
They're all on very nice coloured vinyl. So come over to the YouTube channel and watch me speak very enthusiastically about them. You'll love it.
And also head to the YouTube channel to hear me talk about my single purchase of the week in greater detail. But not really show anything off because it's very, very bland. I this week picked up Black Country New Roads debut album for the first time. I'm just going to tell you a few things about the album. So there's
Maybe
2
good.
songs that are out originally, and they've changed some bits. Why not? Neither of you interrupted me. Thanks for paying attention to what I was saying.
Are you talking?
Yeah,
Oh,
clearly
bloody
no one
hell.
cares.
Someone
No one's paying any attention.
needs to stop this guy.
So I managed to get when the album was first up for pre-order from Ninja Tune, who are the label that put it out, a signed test pressing of the album. It comes in a white sleeve. It's a black vinyl. The labels are hand stamped, I believe, and it's signed by all 7 members. One member signed it Hotel Yorba instead of their name. Sent a message on Twitter and he said it was just because they were listening to White Stripes. That's exactly what I thought. Just thought I'd ask. just for fun. But yeah, I've got not much to say. You know how I feel about that, hopefully, because you listened to that full 40 minutes. And go and watch the video on YouTube, Under the Needle. And follow us and subscribe and follow us. And ding that bell. Talking about bells.
You'll see that I did not get anything. Were you going to call me a bell?
I wasn't, no,
What
but
are
it
you gonna
worked well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It really worked well, unfortunately, for me. Yeah, I didn't buy anything. So
Good for you.
you'll just see me talking about that. But bells. Bell ends. Bell sniffs.
We've come to
Remember
a
that one?
bell end here on this podcast. And to round us off, Callum, tell us where they can find us, because...
Nope. Oh, we've already mentioned what the album spotlight is, haven't we?
Oh, album spotlight.
Multiple
Yes, we
times.
have. Did we? Yeah, Slow Ties album Tyron. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Who cares at this
One or the
point?
other. One or the other. So join us on episode 12 next week. First, it was ripping into that, another bad album spotlight.
You'll really see us start to
See how
just
true
break
colours.
down. Just really
Deteriorate.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, Jan. Thank you.
In the
not
meantime, to witness our slow degradation of our brains, follow us on social media. It's Fools and Hell Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. It's Fools and Hell Pod on Twitter. Fools and Hell on YouTube, as we've mentioned.
And that is it, everyone. Because
Nice.
play this, like we mentioned on the last one, this is going to be the last time we bring this up. It's going to be at the end of the month now, not a weekly.
Although
one.
this is the first one since it's been out, so...
So go and bloody
There was
listen to it.
There was one for
Yeah,
January.
there's
We have a
loads.
January
Put it on.
2021 playlist. So go
Poor
and listen to
Liam has sat and slaved away while he should be working.
We don't let him eat
True.
until
No.
he's done this.
Yeah, or breathe. And on that note, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. I'd like to thank you two lovely chaps for continuing to be my friend.
Have you got any?
friends.
Friend, just the singular.
Have you got any
And,
wise words
I'd
of
like
wisdom
to-
from John Lennon this week?
Not from John Lennon, but I have a question from another important person in my life that I've pondered on many times. From the wise words of Katy Perry, do you
Brilliant.
ever feel? Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
My dad's got WhatsApp. He's discovered WhatsApp,
Is this a joke?
and he's just sent me a picture of his roast dinner. Delicious.
That is appalling. I'm not gonna lie. That looks
What
shite.
the fuck was up with that gravy? They used 3 granules.
He makes a very good roast dinner. Probably the best roast dinner, but it just doesn't look good.
The best. I beg to differ.